Have you ever faced a challenge so immense it felt like a giant standing in your path? In the daily battles of life, where adversity looms large and victory seems distant, we often find ourselves echoing a tale as old as time, the story of David and Goliath. It's a narrative that not only captivates our imagination, but also invites us to uncover a hidden reservoir of courage within us. Today, we unravel this ancient showdown to reveal how the underdog's secret is deeply intertwined with the struggles we face in the modern world. Imagine feeling dwarfed by your circumstances, caught in the shadow of towering doubts and fears. Statistics show that an overwhelming majority of people today are familiar with this sensation, battling their own Goliaths in the form of stress, uncertainty, and setbacks. But what if I told you that within the same fear-inducing scenario, there lies a strategy, a profound lesson embedded in Scripture that empowers us to conquer our greatest challenges? Join us as we step into the Valley of Elah to rediscover these timeless strategies for triumph in the face of life's daunting Goliaths. In the shadow of adversity, where fear grips the heart and uncertainty clouds the mind, lies the first key to unlocking the underdog's secret: faith over fear. It was David's unwavering faith, a steadfast belief in something greater than himself, that fueled his courage in the face of the colossal Goliath. This same faith beckons us today, whispering the promise of strength when we are most weak. Take, for example, the story of Emma, a young entrepreneur who, like David, faced her own giant, the behemoth of bankruptcy. The walls of her world were closing in, each unpaid bill a stone in Goliath's armor. Yet, in her darkest hour, it was not the counsel of financial experts that steadied her trembling hands. It was her nightly prayer, the ancient words that have echoed through centuries, which reminded her that battles are not won by might, but by the power of the Spirit. Her faith transformed what seemed an insurmountable obstacle into a stepping stone, as she found innovative solutions and unexpected allies on her path to recovery. Similarly, we encounter these towering challenges: a diagnosis that brings us to our knees, a relationship that tests our resolve, a failure that shakes our foundation. And it is here, in the throes of our fight, that we must remember the shepherd boy who stood defiant, armed with nothing but faith. For it is not the size of the warrior in the battle that matters, but the size of the battle within the warrior. Let us embrace this faith, not as a passive hope, but as an active force, guiding us, shaping us, and leading us to triumph over the Goliaths of our time. As we turn the page to discover the second key in our Underdog's manual, we find ourselves exploring the rarely sung verses of David's early life: preparation and practice. Long before Goliath's shadow loomed large, David was tending his father's sheep, a role seemingly insignificant, yet paramount in God's grand design. With each stone slung to protect his flock from lions and bears, David was unknowingly mastering the very skill that would later define his victory. Consider the tale of Michael, a musician whose dream seemed as distant as the stars. To the world, his countless hours in a dimly lit room, fingers dancing over piano keys until they ached, may have appeared fruitless. But it was this very discipline, the relentless pursuit of mastery, that prepared him for the opportunity that would eventually thrust him into the spotlight. Like David, Michael understood that triumph often hides in the mundane, in the daily grind where dedication is both forged and tested. In this dance of preparation, we must not overlook the practice of the heart, the quiet cultivation of virtues like patience, humility, and resilience. These two are the weapons sharpened in solitude, ready to be wielded when giants taunt us at the gates of our ambitions. Whether it is the unending patience of a teacher shaping young minds or the tenacity of a caregiver tending to a loved one, these daily exercises in character are preparing us for greater battles ahead. Let us, therefore, not despise the days of small things, for in the tapestry of life, every thread has its place. The mundane may be our training ground, where our Goliath awaits not to defeat us, but to be defeated by the silent warriors we've become through unwavering preparation and practice. In the shadow of giants, it's not the armor or sword that secures victory, but the uniqueness of the warrior that carves a path to triumph. David stood before Goliath, not with the expected weapons of war, but with a simple sling, an extension of his shepherding days, an instrument of his unique experience. It was this singular skill, peculiar to him, that toppled the Philistine giant where spears and swords held by others might have failed. Now take a moment to reflect on your own life. What unconventional gifts do you carry? Like David's sling, your distinct talents may seem ordinary in day-to-day life, yet hold the power to conquer formidable obstacles when wielded with purpose and conviction. Perhaps it is your ability to listen deeply, your knack for problem-solving, or your compassionate heart that makes you stand apart. As you contemplate, consider how you can deploy these gifts in the face of your challenges. Can your creativity turn the tide in a project at work? Might your resilience be the key to overcoming personal hardship? In what ways can your individuality be the very weapon you need to claim victory over the Goliaths looming before you? The essence of our strength lies in recognizing and embracing these personal attributes, understanding that our greatest asset in any battle is the authentic self, shaped by our experiences, our passions, and our faith. Let us then cast aside doubts about our unorthodox armaments and step forward with confidence, knowing that, like David, we are each uniquely equipped to face the Goliaths of our time. Harnessing the clarity of divine wisdom over worldly perception invites a transformation in how we approach our Goliaths. Oftentimes, as it was with David, our sight is clouded by the towering shadow of our troubles. We are swayed by the armor and sword of societal expectations, the view that might equals right, or the false notion that bigger is always better. Yet David's victory teaches us an invaluable lesson: to seek a higher perspective. Therein lies the crux of our final aspect. Just as David discerned the fight not as a test of physical might, but as a spiritual battleground, we too are called to look beyond the surface. Consider the ways in which contemporary living conditions us to judge situations. Success measured by wealth, beauty defined by standards often unattainable, challenges rated by their apparent scale. Now picture those same situations through the lens of scriptural truth. Success shaped by character, beauty as an emanation of the soul, and challenges evaluated not by their size but by the opportunity they present for growth and reliance on God. Visually, let us juxtapose the imposing figure of Goliath with the unarmored David, a metaphor for our own lives. On one side, the brute force of life's adversities. On the other, the serene confidence of our faith-filled response. Use graphic illustrations to depict this stark contrast, simplifying and clarifying how our spiritual insight can redefine the battles we face. Invite viewers to apply this outlook. When faced with a daunting situation, rather than defaulting to a worldly perspective, pause and seek the wisdom that comes from above. What does this challenge allow you to learn about trust in God's plan? How can your response reflect your conviction that with God, all things are possible? This shift in perception unlocks an empowered stance against life's trials. It's embracing the understanding that our real strength doesn't come from wielding the heaviest spear, but from the alignment of our spirit with the divine, a strength that gives us the courage to stand, sling in hand, ready to release the stone that will lay our giants low. In the stillness after the battle, as we reflect on David's victory over Goliath, we find echoes of our own struggles and conquests. We have delved into the rich tapestry of faith, the diligence of preparation, the celebration of our unique gifts, and the pursuit of a perspective aligned with divine wisdom. Each thread interwoven serves as a guidepost, illuminating our path when the shadow of our giants loom large. As we part ways, remember that the underdog's secret lies not in the might of their arm, but in the steadfastness of their faith and the surety of God's unfailing support. Carry this truth with you as your sling and stone, ready to face the Goliaths that stand in your way. We now extend an invitation to you, our Divine Light community, to share in the comments below your own encounters with giants and how you found strength in the lessons we've shared. Subscribe to join us on this continuous journey and consider sharing this message of hope and courage with those who may need it most. For those yearning for deeper connection, look forward to our upcoming content and discussions, where together we can stand shoulder to shoulder, slings in hand, empowering one another to overcome life's battles with grace and conviction. Until next time, may you walk in the assurance that with each giant felled, your story weaves into the greater narrative of triumph through faith. a testament to the enduring power of the underdog's secret.